We're ready to make our presentations this evening. So I want to begin by calling up a board member of Project Hospitality, who is well known for his verse, to share a special honor that only he can bestow with such great love. Dr. Richard Proske.
Thank you, Terry. Let me just say before I give you a context for the Center for Leadership and Community Engagement at Wagner, why they should receive this award, let me just say something that has been said earlier here, but we need to, as an audience, affirm. Where the heck would this island be without Project Hospitality? Let's recognize the work Terry and her staff and volunteers. So Wagner College will be celebrating its 100th year on Staten Island in 2018. We were started in Rochester, New York in 1883 as a Lutheran seminary where 5 ministers got together with the goal of helping immigrants in the Rochester upstate area. And all these many years later, the work of this center is about helping people at the margins in communities that are distressed on Staten Island, in particular Port Richmond, where we spend a lot of our time. And we spend a lot of our time with immigrants. So I feel as the president of this college that we're fulfilling that mission that we were originally founded to. There are a lot of colleges, a lot of wonderful colleges. So what's our purpose? And our purpose at Wagner, we're very, very strong on this, is that we graduate students who learn deeply and widely and broadly, but who understand their obligations to others. As Terry and others have said, Ryan reaffirmed, it's a simple Quaker ethic. We belong to one another. And if you're an educated person and don't get the fact that whatever your career may be, highly paid or underpaid, service to others or serving interests of our economy or what have you, that your obligation as an educated citizen of this country is to reach out to others, particularly those on the margins, not to do for them, but to create opportunities with them. The image I have of this center is one time Karen Garassi took me to meet one of our partners in Port Richmond, New World Prep, which was started by Project Hospitality, which is a middle school originally aimed for immigrants, mostly native immigrants in Port Richmond, but many others. And I was in a classroom taught by actually a Wagner graduate, a young graduate, and one of their teachers. And I was stunned. You know, this is an inner city school in a poor neighborhood. And I was stunned by the electricity, by the creativity, by the intelligence of these students, these young kids. And as I was leaving the building after a couple hours, Karen and I were driving away, and I said, how can this country throw away 50% of its children like this? How can it look into neighborhoods like this and not see what's there? The assets that sit there, these beautiful young kids, their parents struggling at the margins to make a difference in their lives. And so those of us who can be allies, who can be anchors for these communities and with these communities to help them raise the leadership within their own community to begin to take care of themselves in a proper, dignified way. The Center for Leadership and Community Engagement at Wagner is made up of these many of them here tonight on these two tables. I'd like them all to stand up if they have anything to do with the center. We have many students here. I'll let Samantha say a bit. Samantha Siegel is our director, who's also a graduate of Wagner, will be receiving the award in honor in honor of this wonderful recognition of the work. But let me just say another word or two. One of the things that we're doing is partnering in the education space in Port Richmond with our dear friend and partner, Tim Gannon at Port Richmond High School, but all the way down the pipeline to pre-K. And working directly with students who are a bit offline, who come from families which don't have the resources or the experience with getting a kid to college, and starting at pre-K all the way through the elementary schools, getting pre-K kids ready for kindergarten, reading to them, telling them stories, getting them reading ready, getting them to the first grade so they can excel, getting them on the third grade reading level by the third grade. If you're an African American boy and not on the third grade reading level by the third grade, you have an 80% greater chance of going to prison than if you were already. Think about it. Think about how the society segregates and segments off its folks right there at the third grade level. So they're working hard to get those kids all the way through into the high school to persist and succeed. We have a leadership academy which we started with Richmond High School, where we take sophomores, juniors, and seniors. We start your sophomore year. We have them live on our campus in the summer. They do civic work in the community with our students, many of them are here. And they take high school courses to start with for intensification to get them ready up to grade level. In their junior and senior summers, they take 2 college courses taught by our regular faculty. They get a whole semester of college done before they start college. Cohort 1, which started 3 years ago, is now finishing during their senior year in high school at Port Richmond. 100% of them have applied to college. Several of them have already received scholarships. 6 of them will get scholarships, full scholarships to Wagner College, which is a value right now over the 4 years of each one of them of $200,000 apiece. That's over $1 million. Those students are phenomenal, those young high school students. And what's really phenomenal are my students right here, my young emerging citizens and engaged professionals right here, and they represent many others, and our faculty members are here too, because they learned what it means to be a Wagner graduate. We call them civic professionals. No matter what career they go into, they have a civic responsibility, either in their private life, in their neighborhood, in their communities, through their work life if it works, to essentially help this nation bring forth the quality of leadership, creativity, and talent to be the kind of good community I think we all envision in this room. So without further ado, I'd like Samantha Siegel to come up and receive the presentation.
Good evening, everybody. How are you tonight? My name is Samantha Siegel, and like Richard said, I'm the director of the Center for Leadership and Community Engagement at Wagner College. It is an honor to receive this award on behalf of Wagner and the Center, especially from Project Hospitality, our longest community partner that we have at the college. I have to say that without Terry as a young director, I'm not sure that we would have been able to accomplish all of this work. She embraced me, as well as our partners and our students, with open arms for years. And so because of her leadership and the work at Project Hospitality, our center is able to function and do all of its work. So thank you. And thank you to all of the Gala organizers, particularly Josh, for all of your hard work. It was a pleasure working with you. You did a great job. And again, I want to recognize our staff at the Center for Leadership and Community Engagement. So many of you may know some of our team members there, but probably not every one of them. And all of them have a huge role in making sure that our students at Wagner are able to work in so many of your organizations. And we thank you for embracing them with open arms and being their teachers and our partners in community work. So I was going to say something a little bit different, but I'm going to tell Terry's story, which inspired me. So, about 3 years ago, I was at dinner at the Cargo Cafe, and outside the police were starting to talk to a man, it was the winter, who was clearly struggling and was likely experiencing homelessness. And it was late in the evening, and I had called over to Project Hospitality, and the phone was ringing, and the only other number I had was Terry Troya. And Terry picked up the phone, said, "Hold on, go tell the officers that you're on the phone with Terry Troya, and see if that works." So I said, "Excuse me. Could you just hold on a second? Project Hospitality has a shelter down the street, and I'm on the phone with Terry Troya, and she's going to send somebody to come help this man." And they looked at me, and the owners of Cargo Cafe looked at me, and I said, "Just give it 20 minutes. And within 10 minutes, somebody from Project Hospitality had come to help this man. And I think that that sort of angel that we have here on Staten Island in Terry and in all the people here at Project Hospitality is something that we don't always recognize. commitment to our students, working with all of your organizations. We have so many of our partners here, and our Wagner leaders, our first class of students that work with so many of you, are here, and that's an honor for me to see you all grow and be with you. But you all have been a tremendous partner in their growth and development, and you have been the ones that have worked alongside of us in the center and with our professors, and it's because of you and your work that we are helping raise that next generation of civic professionals at Wagner. The ones who will stay and live and work and support organizations like Project Hospitality. So thank you for being our partner. It's as much as the center's award as it is all of yours. Have a great evening.
To you and to the entire Center for Civic Engagement, the Eleanor and Paul Proske Memorial Award for serving people in need.